films from like boy builders or elements are the key elements or the materials for your film. And I know that you don't really rewatch your previous work or the film, but maybe for this work you have to watch your film again. How, I don't know if that guess speculation was correct or not, and how did it feel to revisit your previous films? And since your first film, Boy Meets Girl, was premiered at the Cannes International Festival exactly 40 years ago in 1984, and how did you feel when you look back at this 40 years of your cinematic journey and confront yourself in the past?
I've never watched my films again, but obviously, I know them. To watch them, that's why you can think maybe they're great. If you watch them, you're going to be disappointed. And it's not useful to watch them. But they're part of my life, I guess. It's a strange thing to age, because I don't feel older than the guy who did the first film, Boy Meets Girl. I feel maybe younger even. I know I'm not, but it's all about, that's what life is about. Reinvention, reinvent yourself. And that's what cinema is about too, because cinema is at the same time old and young. It's only a little more than a century old. It's very young for an art form. But every generation has to reinvent cinema, to reinvent the power of cinema again. And that's what I try to do.
The difference between the time when you are making the movie song, the backlog, or the Lovers on the Bridge, and if there are any differences between you in the moment of this making this film. And I'm sure your love to cinema is still the same. But were there any anything changes in your attitude toward the filmmaking or approach to the board?
I think probably because I started making films pretty young, and I started making films at the same time I was discovering films. These first films when I was young were like love letters to cinema. I had so much gratitude that I had maybe found a place to live in, this island I call cinema. I had found this island, so I felt so much gratitude that at least the two first films I made were really like the debt I owe, I had to pay back. That made me the major difference. After two films, I felt I had paid that debt, and I could maybe do my own work, or try to invent something, try to find my own classicism.
Watch your films?
다행히 감독님과 마찬가지로 저도 제 작품을 거의 본 적이 없어요. 이렇게 행사나 녹음할 때 빼고는 본 적이 없는데.
So do I barely rewatch my films unless otherwise there's an event or I had to watch because of the recording or commentary. It feels like he's really going to make his essay film called It's Me, and but if you're actually making that film, then what would be the key word and what is the stories within you?
감독님의 작품들 조금 어둡고 좀 역사적인 이야기들이 좀 표현이 되려면 저는 좀 반대로 좀 낙천적인 스타일이어서 좀 다른 의미의 사랑으로 이야기가 좀 되지 않을까라는 생각이 듭니다.
Yes, so the reason why I really adore your film is because of your trilogies of the love trilogy. One makes maybe different from my film if I'm making it. So your film has a bit like quite bleak, dark, and pessimistic elements, and maybe my love story would be a little different, which is a bit more positive than that.
감독님의 초기 사랑 영화들을 보면 되게 사랑이 아닌
In your film, once again, Denis Lamang, your cinematic director, Ego, what we normally say, who plays a very important role in your film, It's Not Me. And Denis Lamang has appeared in most of your film, except the Polar X and Annette. And so what does the actor Denis Lamang mean to you? And why do you find working with him is so special?
So I met Denis when we're the same age, we're the same height, and we met when we 22 years old, and I felt it was, I was very lucky. You can't make things alone, you have to meet 2-3 people, an actor, an actress, a producer, or a cameraman. You can't do it alone. I felt with Denis, he's not a friend, I never had dinner with Denis. Though now we neighbors in Paris, so sometimes I see him in the street. But it's been a silent dialogue over the years, and I always feel that I've not done enough with him. It's like, the first film I filmed him like a statue, so the second film I had to have him dance and run. And then after that I wanted more. And he can, I don't know what films I would have made if I hadn't met him. Probably no films at all, or very different films.
사실 데니 라방 같은 경우는 저랑 나이도 똑같고 키도 똑같습니다. 춤을 추거나 이런 많은 면들이 데니가 같이 했었던 장면들인데, 만약에 데니를 안 만났으면 영화를 만들었을까? 아니면 영화를 만들었다면 굉장히 다른 영화가 되지 않았을까라는 생각이 듭니다.
말씀해주신 것
Explains that Denis has a very versatile character, so he actually has a physical ability and the mime and acrobatics, and as a fellow actor, what do you actually think when you see Denis Lamang's performance?
아무래도 제가 갖지 못한 어떤 부분을 그가 갖고 있다는 건 굉장히 동경하고 부러운 일인 것 같아요. 그래서 저도 뭐 자기 전에 어떤 제가 춤을 잘 못 추다 보니까, 몸을 잘 못 쓰다 보니까 보면 댄스 영상이라든가 이런 걸 보면서 좀 뭔가 시간을 보낼 때가 많은데, 데니 라방도 그런 배우 중에 한 명이고, 특히 이렇게 일보의 오마마고 음악이 나올 때 그 집중 장면은 정말 데니 라방조차도 다시 하지 못하지 않을까라는 생각이 들 정도로 그의 목 동작이 굉장히 동세가 너무너무 아름다웠고, 배우 인생에서 가장 몇 가지 목표나 꿈이 있다면, 한 감독에게 이렇게 데니 라방과 라스카라스 감독님의 관계 같은 이런 한 감독의 페르소나로서의 좀 작품을 하고 싶은 그런 바람이 있습니다.
Yeah, so I always actually respect and envious about the other actor who has different ability that I actually cannot really come up with. And so since I also find myself that I cannot really, I need more room to improve for the kind of movement, physicality. So when I go to bed, I spend some time watching the videos of the someone else's dancing and some other movements. And in one of the videos, I actually get to watch a lot of Denis Lamang's physical movements and dance when he actually did that. And especially the moment when he was dancing with the music of a baby boy, that his strange and his very special physicality was stunning. And if I could actually have a bit of like a goal or the dream as an actor, so like you have a relationship between you and Denis, if I could become someone of the certain director's persona or alter ego and work continuously, and that could be one of my dream come true.
I was raised with, in my home, we had lots of animals. I was raised with monkeys and dogs and cats and birds. And I love monkeys. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I love monkeys. I see myself as a monkey. I see Denis Lavant as a monkey. I see Adam Driver as a monkey. And I think so. Yeah, monkeys are great animals and great actors.
네, 뭐 제가 동물을 참 좋아하고
And looks like
지금 생각나고요.
Just thinking monkey.
김준일 배우님이 댄스 영화에 출연하는 것도 좀 즐겁게 상상을 해보게 되는데요.
We're looking forward to see you or being dancing in the film.
그 말씀해주셨던 것처럼 질주의 장면이
So as in your film, there's some features unforgettable sprint scenes, like the longest sound that they, as Liu said, Denis Lavant actually sprint with running with the music of the David Bowie's Modern Love, and it's quite listening. It gives an intense expression of love. It's quite mesmerizing, and in this film, he also shows the new version of the Modern Love. This is sprint scene, so which is also incredibly charming. And this time, you also put the baby Annette again. And then, can you just tell us any nice story or any reason why you put it?
Well, mostly I wanted to spend time with baby Annette again. When we made that film a few years ago, I'd never been interested in puppets, so we had to invent this puppet for this film. And now, not only I, but the whole crew of the actors, we fell in love with this puppet. And also, I thought I wanted two parts of my life, the 20th century part and the 21st century part, to meet. So I thought it would be interesting to have baby Annette dance, to the scene of when I was in my 20s, when I made another song like that.
네, 사실 저희가 이제 처음에
알고 있어요. 그래서
네, 감사합니다. You're also a photographer who also had exhibitions and published photo books, and acting is about becoming someone who is both yourself and not yourself, while photography allows you to express your perspective and taste. And could you share your thoughts on moving between the excitement about wearing someone else's mask as a character and the freedom about taking it off, as well as how you feel the difference between when you are in front of a camera and versus behind it?
제가 배우로서 말씀하신 어떤 그런 가면이라고 하기보다는 어떤 제가 직업적으로 쓰는 가면이겠지만 사실 우리 모두 어떤 일상을 살아가면서 쓰고 있는 게 가면이라는 생각이 들어요. 그래서 그런 의미로는 감독님의 홀리모터스를 보면은 그 드니 라반이 계속해서 여러 가지 역할들을 하면서 자신의 가면들을 쓰고 걷는 모습들이 보이는데 배우로서의 그 감정은 이 영화가 설명하고 있는 바로 충분히 설명이 될 것 같고 오히려 사진 찍을 때 저는 그러니까 결국에는 배우이자 일상을 살아갈 때는 어떤 모습을 어떻게 보여질까에 대해서 고민한다면은 사진은 어떤 생각을 어떤 식으로 보여드릴까에 대한 고민이거든요. 이 차이는 어떻게 보여줄까를 고민하는 사람이 필수로 해야 되는 어떤 생각이라고 들어요. 어떻게 보여줘야 될까? 그러니까 어떻게 보여줄까와 어떻게 보여줄까 이 두 가지가 굉장히 밸런스가 잘 맞춰서 들어가게 되면은 양쪽 다 내가 가면을 쓰고 벗고 가면이라는 게 어떻게 생겼는지를 보여줄 때의 그 양쪽 모습들이 팽배하게 뭔가 힘을 주고받으면서 뭔가 뭐랄까 원심력과 구심력이 딱 연결되는 그런 느낌으로 표현되지 않을까. 양쪽 다에게 좋은 시너지가 될 것 같아요.
Yeah, so when I actually perform my role as an actor, and of course it's a professional mask, but I guess if we were living in our day, we somehow wear the different mask. And I think I was very fascinated by the character Denis Lavant. He actually kept changing his role in the film Polymotus. And I think that he was, and that actually represents and symbolizes what I actually had in my mind as an actor, like wearing our different masks when I see this film, and explain that. And I think the difference between the actor and the photographer or the artist is we as an actor always prefer what to be seen and how to be actually shown to the people. And on the other hand, as a photographer, I prefer what to show. So that's kind of a differences in there. And then I think this seems a bit different concept, but is it like a kind of like there's a gravity between this polarized concept, and it actually has a quite consistent power to exchange and share the power for the better benefit.
그래서 제가 첫 번째로 했던 전시에 제가 배우면서도 인간도시 썼던 가면에 대해서 이야기를 하고 있는데, 그게 제가 모든 작업, 사진 작업에 연관된 거의 95%는 영화에서 나오는데, 아마 그게 관객이 홀리우드에서도 많은 영향을 받지 않았을까 생각이 듭니다.
Yes, so when I actually wore the exhibition, I talked about the mask, and then there are many elements I actually subconsciously or deliberately inspired by your film Polymotus exhibition.
감독님에게 질문을 드리면 스나피를
in the film, we also hear the voice message left by Jean-Luc Godard, the answering machine. So I'm sure he actually gave a lot of influences to you. And there's also a scene discussing point of view shot where your narration actually says Hitchcock's films comforted me in my childhood. And so I'm curious who actually gave you the influences or inspirations in your cinema making, any actors or any directors?
Well, it's kind of discovered cinema at the same time as I started to make films. I'd seen films, of course, as a child, but I went to see films for actors or actresses, you know. I never thought there was someone behind the film. I only discovered this later. There had to be someone behind the film. It was not just action and actors and a script. At the time when I was young, it was mostly men. There were very few women directors. So when I started to think of who is behind the film, that's when I started to see mostly silent films. That's when I moved to Paris also. So I would say the first time I thought really maybe that's what I want to live, that's what I want to do, is watching silent films. And then of course around the same time I discovered new wave films and old Russian and American films and Indian films. So yeah.
네, 사실 제가 어릴 때 정말 궁금해졌어요. 도대체
예, 류스타스 감독님 제외 한국에 대한
Yeah, same question to you. So, who actually gave his greatest inspirations for you, and besides those guys?
좀 모르겠어요. 지금 이 분위기와 이야기에 맞지 않을 수도 있는데, 뭐 사실 어쩔 수 없는 게 저는 박지성 선수 네, 영향을 많이 받았고요. 지금은 오타니 선수 네.
Okay, so I don't know. I mean, like maybe like it sounds a bit strange if I just give it this answer, but actually got a lot of inspiration from the football player, Mrs. Park. Football player. The former football player, Mrs.
Park Ji-sung.
Right? First, Ohtani, the baseball player in MLB.
맞아요. 예, 근데 제가 영화를 작업하고 사진 작업하고 이 씬을 내하는 태도가 저도 왜인지 모르겠는데 굉장히 스포츠와 좀 굉장히 연관이 있다고 생각을 했고 저는 어떤 한 경기 한 경기 출전하는 선수의 마음으로 작업을 하고 있기 때문에 자연스럽게 좀 그렇게 되지 않았을까 그런 생각이 듭니다.
Yeah, so when I do a photography work in our cinemas or the Ribbon film, somehow I feel like it's a pretty similar process in the sport that you are about to go to match in the stadium. And so like every time when I prepare and determine to do so, I feel like I have a kind of a spirit of an athlete.
감독님은 프랑스 분이셔서 축구를 혹시 좋아하시는지 그리고 좋아한다면 어떤 선수를 좋아하는지 궁금해요.
Can I ask you a question? Do you like football? And do you like soccer football? Football. And then who is your favorite football player?
Or favorite team?
Or favorite team?
I know nothing about football.
Oh, you're not.
Yun lang.
5 matches in my life with my daughter. I like watching, but I know nothing about it.
제 인생 통틀어 축구 경기를 보면 5번 이하고.
이번에 파리 올림픽은 혹시 뭐 보신 경기라든가 다른 종목이 있는지 궁금합니다.
Did you see any games or any matches in the Paris Olympic? You have Paris Olympic in your country.
Nothing.
죄송합니다.
이제 슬슬 이 시간을 마무리할 시간이 됐는데요.
But I have questions. Before we wrap up this moment, and would you like to ask, or would you like to say anything to Nels?
사실 어떤 질문을 할까에 대해서 고민을 굉장히 많이 했었는데요. 저는 이 짐을 감독님께 좀 다시 넘겨드리고 싶은 게 아까도 말씀하셨듯이 지금 이츠나미에서 나오는 뭐 히치콕이라든가 장미고다르 감독이라든가 이런 분들이랑 이제 더 이상 대화를 할 수가 없잖아요. 그래서 감독님이 혹시 삶을 보내실 때 혹은 영화를 작업을 준비하실 때 어떤 막힘이나 질문거리가 있을 때 그분들에게 그분들이 마치 살아있었다면 뭐 장미고다르 감독님이랑은 또 같은 시대를 사셨던 분이니까 미처 하지 못했거나 놓쳤던 질문들이 뭐가 있을지가 궁금하고 그 질문을 제가 한다면 어떤 대답을 하실지 궁금합니다.
Yeah, so I would like to maybe give you this question to you, as because in your film you talked about the Jean-Luc Godard, and I'm pretty sure you also got a lot of your influences from him. And now you actually spent some time the same era with the Jean-Luc Godard and other great filmmakers when you actually watch the films of the great filmmakers in there, but many of them passed away, so they are not in this world anymore. And when you face any blocks or any barriers, and then if you want to break through it, and to just get advice, if you want to ask the question to this filmmaker who passed already, but now you don't have a chance, but what is the questions or anything you would like to actually ask to these filmmakers? And if the same question actually comes from you, how would you like to answer?
I met a few, not many, I met a few filmmakers in my life. Very few. And I never talked about cinema with them. I wouldn't know, what to ask or what to say. I worked with Godard as an actor, as an actor when I was younger. And for a long time, the only dialogue we had was like, he was driving me home at my hotel and he said, I hope there's not so much wind behind, and I was saying, no, that's about it. And then we met again, and we talked about lots of things, but not cinema so much. I don't really know how to talk about cinema. Filmmakers are usually people who can't do anything. They can't, they can't make music, they can't sing, they can't film themselves, they can't record sound, they can't design sets. So it's a strange place, cinema, where you don't need any gifts. That's why I went there. I would have liked a life in music, but music didn't want me, so yeah.
질문을 한다면 관객분들도 정말 영화를 찐으로 사랑하기로 유명하잖아요. 정말 마지막으로 이 부산의 관객분들한테 마지막 인사 부탁드리겠습니다.
Yes, I can see that the commonality we have as well as you and the new junior is the passion in cinema, the passion and love to the cinema. And the Busan International Film Festival is known to be the heaven and world of the cinephile. So before we wrap up, would you like to say anything to the audience?
I never know what to say. For sure, I like to travel with my films. I don't make films that make money. So the films need time and space. My films don't make money, but they can travel and they can sometimes be shown much later. And the further I am from home, from France, the more I like to travel with my films. So that's what I can say tonight.
정말 살다 보면 영화적 순간을 꿈꾸는 경우가 굉장히 많은데요. 저한테는 지금 이 순간이 영화적 순간인 것 같고, 여러분들은 부산영화제가 끝나는 시간까지 부산에서 이런 영화적 순간을 충분히 즐기다 하셨으면 좋겠습니다.
So when you're living your life and you actually encounter some moment that you found it very cinematic, this is like a movie, and I think that what he fears is like the meeting with you and everyone is like the movie, the like cinematic moment. I hope you enjoy the rest of the Busan International Film Festival.
네, 뜨거운 박수로 이 시간 마무리하도록 하겠습니다.
Thank you very much. This concludes the open call.